I'm very proud of this setup right here.
I'm proud that you're proud.
All right, ready for the weekly check-in?
Ready for the weekly check-in.
Welcome to our second weekly check-in diary video. I don't remember the name of this. We are going to talk to you about
expenses.
Wix expenses, because we're using Wix to build it. No, we're not.
Not like any of these handsome fellas need my help.
Jason just went through the list before we started recording.
Yeah.
We are going to talk about expenses.
Yes, we are.
In our day and dealing with self-doubt. Boom, boom, boom. She remembered.
Better question, how much money has Caroline let me spend on watching Aimfully?
That's the accurate question.
All right, let's pull out the actual list
notes
here that I sent myself. Now, do you think it would be interesting to very quickly go through the line items of this? There's not too many, but I wonder if
but can I ask you a quick question beforehand?
Oh, yeah.
Did we go into this like with a budget in mind or knowing what we were gonna need to spend money on?
Good question.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
We did not go into building Wandering Aimfully with a budget in mind. And
Should we have done that?
No, I think it's very difficult with building something like this. Even with Buy Our Future, I didn't really have a budget in mind. I kind of just kept track of the expenses because a lot of times you just kind of have to spend what you have to spend to build what you want to build. With the caveat that this is not the first thing we built. So, you know, we know that things are going to cost money and we kind of have a ballpark of how much those things are going to cost.
I only ask because I feel like people are going to fall into one of two camps watching this video. Either they're people who are in the camp of like, I'm starting this new business. Like I need to spend money in order to make money. Like I'm going to buy a new laptop or I'm going to buy this or I need to get an office. Like you kind of go into expenses mode right off the bat. Or kind of like I was, you're in the other camp where you're afraid to spend $1 because you're afraid you're not going to make money. Whereas I think it's important to sit somewhere in the middle and just go, what do I think are good investments? And like Jason said, we have experience, so that helps us know kind of like what that threshold is.
Yeah.
And also I want to say that we intentionally ran Buy Our Future before as a way to also give us a little bit of cash that we could then reinvest into Wandering Aimfully.
And just have as runway so that we could have our expenses covered.
Exactly.
Okay.
What did you buy?
All right, so let's go with total amount of money that we've spent so far.
On Wandering Aimfully.
On Wandering Aimfully.
Okay.
The total amount is $3,268.
And you made me guess before we started this video.
And you were close.
I said 3,000.
Now, of that money,
yes,
only $238 of it is like website tools, etc. The other $3,030 is camera equipment and audio recording equipment.
And that's so that our faces look really good to you right now while you're watching
So the things that I've purchased are, we have 2 recording microphones for the eventual podcast / video show that we'll be doing, stands, cords, etc. We have an audio recording box that we will be doing, that we will be using. We're using it right now. We have a very fancy boom mic setup.
You can't see.
It's right here.
It's right.
Hello, hello. We have extra batteries. We have a little thing for the microphone that's on top of the camera, so that was also part of this. SD cards, a camera organizer bag because I'm super OCD. The actual camera itself, which, fun fact, I wanted to bring up. The camera was, I think, $1,100 on Amazon with a lens. We got it for $150 because we used $900 in credit card points. Shout out to Chase Sapphire points go through Amazon. It's really nice to be able to apply those.
So that 3,000 should have been like 4,000.
It should have been, but it wasn't.
Use those points, folks.
Okay, so now let's get out of tech world and let's talk about some of the things that aren't tech related. And I'm not gonna just a couple. So Squarespace, $18 a month.
Yep. Just have, I think, the basic business plan because you need that for something.
So basic.
They make you upgrade.
Our business is so basic.
We've made that joke too many times.
Flywheel is our WordPress hosting for the future site, which we actually won't have to pay for, but I wanted to mention it because you have to host your site somewhere. We love Flywheel. I have a bulk plan that this gets lumped into, so it's kind of hard to break that down. So we haven't had to pay for that yet. Airtable, $20 a month? $40 a month.
No, it's $20 per person per month.
So it's $40 a month?
So we have 2 users, so it's like $40.
But we had credits.
That's correct.
It's confusing. I put 20 bucks. Asana, I guess $10.
No, we haven't upgraded. It's free.
Ooh, okay, that evens out.
Still on the free.
Go Squared, which is we use for analytics, pretty much I use for analytics. It's included in a bulk plan. One of the biggest expenses here is paid my friend Seth to organize all of our blog posts from Jason Does Stuff and Made Vibrant into a spreadsheet, and that was $150 as like an admin task, which is good. Creative Market, how much did you spend on paper stuff? Little paper cutout guys?
Oh, that's on the branding post, like $20.
Ooh, I guessed correctly, 20 bucks. And then I bought Peter McKinnon, who's a very well-known YouTuber, his sound pack for 20 bucks. Barely have used any of it, but I wanted to support him in some way financially because I think we should all do that around YouTube. And I used a couple of them in our trailer video.
And also, you forgot later. Sorry, I was just distracted by this thing that you overturned over
Oh, yeah,
my desk.
this is a whole, I did a whole thing over here.
You guys can't see
How much
behind
is
the
later?
scene. It's like $8 a month.
All right, well, the expenses are completely ruined, and that was just...
The point for the expenses discussion, though, is like, I really am interested in your take on why we invested in this type of quality. If we don't know what the outcome is going to be, or we don't know what the return on that investment is going to be, like, what was the mental shift for you that was like, okay, I do want to get nice equipment. Part of it, I can answer for you.
Oh, yeah, cool, go ahead.
Part of it is I think you really needed, we both agreed that we wanted to do more video content. We knew that that was going to be crucial in kind of getting people to see our personalities and feel part of our world so that then they would want to join Wandering Aimfully. You, as we've talked about in previous things, have had this barrier with getting back into video after your YouTubing days, back doing I Wear Your Shirt. So I think part of it was you getting excited about doing video again, was like having state-of-the-art stuff and not going crazy with that, because you can go like crazy with that. But investing like $2,000 in good sound equipment. Another thing was knowing that we wanted it to seamlessly kind of fit into our lifestyle. So we wanted something quality that also wasn't like super hard to put together.
Yep.
We didn't want to have a studio in the house or...
Yeah, something that was very easy to put together and break down. And I've actually timed it. It takes about 18 minutes for me to put our total audio recording setting up for these videos. I haven't timed it specifically yet for our show that will be the two of us plus 3 cameras. Other thing on the list was a second tripod, because we're gonna have a 3 tripod setup. We'll go into that in something separate here. But you're right, it was basically for me to get over the hump of having to do the video production work and to feel really confident in the equipment that I have, that it's not the best equipment ever, but it's the equipment that suits the needs that we have. And I really care about quality, and I really care about at least having the right tools to create the quality I want, even if we're getting echo or like the picture's not perfect or any of those things. At least I have the tools at my disposal. Then I just have to learn how to use them, and I don't have to buy like mediocre tools and then upgrade. I did that before. So I feel like we're also a little further along than a lot of people, where if I was telling someone who was just getting started, this is their first business, they don't have a lot of money to spend, I would say buy the bare minimum that you need, which you probably already have in your pocket.
Yep.
This is enough for almost every single device that you have. It has a good enough camera. You probably just want some type of audio capturing device that's better, or not, just use that.
That was what I was gonna say, is it's extremely important for you watching this to have a level of self-awareness, to go, okay, am I at the beginning of my journey, and do I actually need to get over this whole equipment thing and just start making stuff? Or are you sort of in the more middle where you feel comfortable, but you want that quality, you're ready to take that next step, and you know that it's not you procrastinating by focusing too much on the equipment of it. And if you want to know what a boom mic does, go back and listen to our first video.
Yeah, that was with a shotgun mic on the camera as opposed to a boom mic.
So if you watched the What is Wandering Aimfully video and you were like, they sound kind of echoey.
I think I can do a card on YouTube. If a card didn't show up, I couldn't figure out how to do it.
But if a card was there, watch that after. We told you guys this in our last check-in video, but it was really, really important to me and us as a couple that we don't get burnt out in this process, because as you saw, it is a lot of work. And I was very, very cognizant of that last week. So I told myself, even though there's always more to do and there's so much to do, I'm gonna take Saturday and I'm gonna take the day off.
Yep.
And I'm just gonna not work all day. I know that sounds kind of ridiculous, because most people are like, we don't work on Saturday. But so for the past month or so, we've been working on weekends to try to get this whole thing up and running. And I knew that that was gonna catch up with us at some point. So I just gave myself the whole day to do whatever I wanted. So
I kind of just followed suit. I didn't really have plans to do that, but I was like, all right, well, if it's R&R day around here, let's R&R day it up. So what did you do?
I woke up, I had coffee, I think I had toast, avocado toast.
All right, we're not going hour by hour here.
Okay, it's fine.
Big hits.
I went and got my nails done.
Nice.
Which I haven't done in before Christmas, y'all.
In 3 days. You haven't done it in every 3 days.
Every 3 days I do, no. Got my nails done. I came home, saw you, made French fries. We made our own French fries here. And then went out with a friend, Jen, to dinner and had wine. And I really I watched a couple episodes of The Path on Hulu.
There you
really
go.
Good show. Just did my like veg out thing, and it was really hard for me not to work, honestly. But even when I felt compelled to like go to the computer or do something or like use this extra time to get ahead, I was like, no. You need to relax. You need to be so rested that I describe it like a wind-up toy, that you're like so held back from working that then the next day you want to wake up and you want to like keep going.
I think a lot of people don't know what it feels like to be recharging your batteries. They're like, I don't know what that feels like. What it feels like is constantly wanting to work, but forcing yourself not to work. That's when your batteries are recharging.
Yeah.
And then the next day you go, oh man, I feel really motivated. I feel really inspired. I have a lot of energy. Do that. So
Yeah.
my R&R day was watching, at the time, I believe it was Elite 8 basketball. No, Final Four basketball with Caleb, Jen's husband, actually. And then Caleb and I played the Nintendo Switch for about 4 hours playing a basketball game on Nintendo Switch called NBA Playgrounds.
Great graphics that I've noticed.
Oh, it's really terrible. It's like Big Head mode in NBA Jam all the time, which is actually kind of hilarious. But I do think this was a great thing for us to do. It may sound silly to those of you watching this, like, of course you're going to take Saturday and Sunday off. When you're in the throes of building something, you're trying to use every hour to its max capacity. But this was a really good thing for us to do that. And then Sunday became even a slower, not as slow, but a slower day than we had probably anticipated, just to continue to try and recharge.
Now I feel super recharged for the week, and I feel motivated and ready to get back to work. And I was starting to not feel that way at the end of last week. If you watched our video about how we didn't make a video that we planned to do on Friday, do the card thing.
I'm going to put a card. I'm going to put a card somewhere, and then if not,
over my face.
And if not, go find it.
So, you know, I was starting to get to that point, but the R&R day, as you call it, definitely helped us recharge.
You dealing with any self-doubt?
Oh yeah, this is 100% what happens to me all the time, where week one of any project or like week, 2 or 3, because we had started a few weeks before to build, are like so exciting. You're like, this is a great idea and I love it. I'm in love with every part of the process.
Honeymoon phase, the honeymoon phase.
And then you get to sort of the middle phase where that shininess kind of wears off. And for me, that's when the self-doubt starts to creep in. So I had this moment this week where I was working on tidying up the last of the website dashboard design. And at this point, like early on, I had like learned this new program, Adobe XD, and I was all excited, and I've never done a user experience or something like this before, but I felt confident in my ability to just push through. And of course, I'm finishing the designs, and I have this opposite reaction moment where I'm just like, I'm not a UX designer. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't have a process. I haven't even built a UI kit. Like all of these self-doubts start raining down on me.
You came over to me and you were like, I'm losing track of the button hover states. And I was like, wow, all right, yeah, you're at that breaking point. Okay,
but what did I say?
Let's walk you back from the ledge.
What did I say? I got up and I went over and I said, babe, I'm having a self-doubt moment and I really need you to be here for me right now.
Yeah.
Like I've come to be able to recognize those moments. And the truth is, the way that I got over it, which is what you might be wondering, is like, how do you bust through that? I just knew that we didn't have the time. Like we don't have the time for me to have this crisis of confidence.
Everything in building this project is constant reassessment of what you're working on.
Yeah.
Every single day, multiple times throughout the day, when you start to chip away at some big part of it, you think it's gonna go a certain way, you start working on it, and then it doesn't go that way, and so you have to reassess. You can't just, if you just stayed in it trying to push through and do all the things on your own, that's, I think, when the self-doubt just completely wins, and then you end up with nothing. As opposed to saying like, okay, what can I do? And that's when like I was like, all right, well, let's just make one document that has all the hover states and all things. Then you'll know what they are. And I don't even think you even did that. You were just like, listen, this is all I needed was just to get through it and to like move on. And now I'm good to go.
Well, maybe. I mean, that's sort of like how you handled it. But like I was saying, for me, it was the realization of going like, okay, let's just live in reality here for a second. No, you're not a UX designer, but guess what? You're doing the best you can. You've created this entire dashboard from scratch that's better than nothing. And you can always iterate going forward, I think is what you're sort of also saying, is like, as you've said, nothing is permanent. So I don't have the time to like sit here and be like, wah, I don't know what I'm doing. Do the best that I absolutely can with what I have.
I kind of wish when you worked on projects at certain points, you just turn around and go, wah. That was it.
Well, and you always remind me too, you need that extra person, because you always remind me that in those moments where I think that I'm like, I don't know how to do this. You're like, yeah. But what you're doing right now is so much better than most people can do.
It's not even that. It's so much better than what we currently have.
Yeah.
Like we're improving on something that already exists.
The point there is to also remember that the comparison game goes both ways. So don't just look at what you're not, look at what you are, and look at what you have and focus on those things. And that can hopefully get you through that time.
Let's end it.
Like our marriage.
In what world? Thanks for watching our weekly check-in.
I just thought it was so funny that you literally said, let's just end it.
That's it for this video. If you like
that's
videos,
the ending?
yeah, I'm literally going with this.
Okay.
Subscribe if you want more of these things. Go to wanderingaimfully.com if you want to sign up for the email list to get daily posts that we're writing about building Wandering Aimfully. It's very meta. And yeah, I hope you're enjoying our YouTube videos. Leave a comment below if you have any other questions you want us to address in
Definitely
future videos.
questions. I like the questions a lot, so do that.
Definitely questions.